Hello, this is Loopline. In this video I want to cover the expired domain finder, which is new in May of 2016 for Scrapebox. And in my testing it's been very fast and it's been just dog dead simple, which is pretty awesome how fast it can get expired domains. So I'm going to open up two instances of it here, but first let's show you how to get it if you don't have it. Premium plugins menu up here at the top, show available plugins, and then you can click on the expired domain finder. You can read about it, you can buy it with the link here. Once you have it, you do the same thing, go to the premium plugins menu, show available plugins, expired domain finder, and then just install it or update it down here. Once that's done, you go to premium plugins and you launch it from that menu. So I have one up here. Let me get the other instance up here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to let one of them run in the background and see if I can find any expired domains with links from Wikipedia while we talk about it, how to do it with the other one. So I've got a Wikipedia page up here which we're actually going to talk about in a minute when we get to the theory section of this video, because first I'm going to show you how to use the expired domain finder. Second, I'm going to give you just a little bit of theory on how you might use the expired domain finder functionally to make some money. So just one of like thousands of possible ways. So let's go to the first instance here that's already set up the way that I like it, and you don't have to worry about what I'm doing. I'll explain it all in just a minute. I just want to check my threads here, and I'm just going to use 7 connections with proxies completely disabled for this, and we have our URL loaded in, and I'm just going to hit start, and we're going to walk away and come back over here to this one, and we'll go back and look at that in a minute. Now, basically, here's what's going on. Let's just run through it a little bit. File is pretty basic. I got some load options, which I also have down here. Same thing. I have a load of snapshot. Snapshot is where the plugin can auto save what it's doing every so often. So at certain intervals, it'll save. You have the option to save it. What's it's doing in case like your computer were to crash or you lost power or something happened with the domain finder and it crashed, you could go back and not lose your work if it's been running for days and days. So you can actually load those snapshots, and then you can save snapshots as well when you want, and you can exit. Pretty basic. Metrics, you can do different metrics here. Alexa, Moz metrics, these are all Moz metrics. Facebook, Google, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Dmoz, and Wayback Machine. Pretty awesome, which is archive.org. Under options, and then I can enable and disable all of them. Options, we have threads and timeouts, pretty basic. The number of connections here, your timeout and your connect timeout, just one is coming, one is going. There's 2 different timeouts. The defaults are really great unless you need to change them. Back to options, we have crawler settings. How many levels deep we want to go. It goes anywhere from 1 level deep to 25 levels deep, and we'll talk about what that means here in just a minute when we get to it. But this is the option to autosave results to the autosave folder. It seems to make sense to have this on. I don't know why you would not want to autosave the results unless you just don't, you're running short on hard drive space. It makes sense to me to save this for just in case. You can do a custom user agent here. Next, under options, we have Seo Moz Accounts. It's pretty easy to set up. It's not quite the same as the page authority and backlink checker. You put the access ID and the secret key in separate boxes, keeps it plain and simple. And then you have your proxy IP, the port, the username, and the password, all in separate boxes, all to keep it simple. Click Add as New, or you can click on the different ones and update them as you go along. Obviously, we have the option to delete. And then if you do not have a Moz account, you can click here to register an API key, and it will take you right to the site where you register the API key, and just follow through the directions there. Under options, we have metric settings. So basically, I can choose the services I want to this apply to, and say I want for Google +1, and then I want a threshold of like 15. So it's not going to then take any domains. It won't show me any domains that don't have at least 15 Google +1s. So you want to be careful with this. Don't go overboard, because you may think that setting these metrics is the best, but you might have one that's perfect, the perfect site ever with a huge, authority and that sort of thing, but it might only have 14 +1s and you might miss it. So I personally don't even use these threshold metrics. If you were getting like mountain loads of domains and you wanted to filter it, you could, but you can quickly put this stuff in Excel and sort it after the fact. And I want to look at all the domains, because it might not have any +1s, but it might have 5,000 Facebooks and a super low Alexa and massive domain authority. So anyways, you can use these, and that's great, and you can set up the user agents for each one of these, but I personally just prefer to get everything and look at it after the fact. Do as you like, though. A DNS server setup. This happens to be Google Public DNS. I believe that's the default. You can put your own DNS servers in here, so you can get other DNS options. Unless you have a reason to change that, probably just leave it like it is. Real-time filter setup. This is filter applied to source URLs and filter applied to extracted domains. Source URLs are obviously what you load in under like file load. So if I have a list of 50 domains that I want to crawl through and see if there's any expired domains that those link to, like maybe I load in NewYorkTimes.com and CNN.com and Wikipedia and that sort of thing, these filters would apply to the New York Times and the CNN and that sort of thing. It's going to strip out any URLs that either contain or don't contain that sort of thing, and then you can enable it and disable it. So if you want to turn it on and off, that sort of thing, clear it out, pretty basic. Same thing on the applied to extracted domains, remove domains ending in, so like I can't register a .edu, and I think it comes default like this now. But anyway, so I can't register domains that are edu, gov, or Vatican. So I'm just going to filter those out automatically because those I really don't care about because I can't register them. It's nice to look at, but every time I went through there in testing, you see this awesome domain and it happens to be, a .edu or a .gov that you can't register, and no point. So then you can enable that and disable it, and obviously these are all self-explanatory. Domains ending in and domains containing. If it has it in it, it's containing it. If it ends in it, like an extension to TLD, that's that. So that is the filters. I'm going to turn that on. Doesn't really matter because we're not using this. So see, it also says filter enabled, so it's good to note that. Proxies, pretty basic. I can load proxies from file, clipboard, or Scrapebox, and then I can choose the option to use the proxies or not, and then I can also edit the proxy list. Same format as Scrapebox. IP, port, username, password, that sort of thing. Then as I come down here, I have a load option, same as before. Now, it's interesting to note that you can load URLs to deep crawl from a file, clipboard, or Scrapebox, and this would be if I want to load NewYorkTimes.com or CNN.com or Wikipedia, again, that sort of thing, to crawl through them, right, to see if they link to any expired domains. But if I have a list of domains already, let's say I have a list of 100 domains that a friend gave me, and they said, hey, I found this list, I picked the 2 domains off that I wanted, here's 98 more, you might like them, but they're from, 2 weeks ago. So you can load in that list of domains from a file, clipboard, or Scrapebox, and then have this actually go through here. So I have one right here that has like maybe 38 domains in it. I can load that in and hit start, and what that will do is it'll take those 38 domains and it's going to go check them again to see if they're still expired, right? So obviously if it's a list from 2 weeks ago, maybe they're still expired, maybe they're not, and I know like 10 of these out of the 38 have already been registered. And then it'll also check them from metrics again, because maybe this list is from 6 months ago and you're like, you know what, let's see what's going on. See, I happen to have this now. I remember there was one on there in relation to pets, and so now I have a need for some links from a pet domain, whatever. It'll basically go through and check existing expired domains and see if they're still expired, and looks like 26 out of 38 are still expired. The other 12 have been registered, and then it'll check my metrics on them again and give me all of this information, that sort of thing. So that's really cool. We can actually look at those domains here under the edit. If we just click them, we can also just type domains in here to work with, and that sort of thing. And then I can go to start. I can recheck the metrics. In case you were having an issue or whatever, you need to recheck them, you can stop it. Crawl depth here also just brings up this same crawler settings that's up here. Same screen. And then down here you have statistics as it's working along, pretty basic. You can look at those. And then a filter option when it's done. After the fact, if I say, all right, you know what, I've looked through these and there are no totally awesome domains, but I have 2,000 domains in here, I really need to filter these down. Let's go ahead and now apply filters of Google Plus One of a threshold of 15, And so if I put this at 15 and apply it, it's going to get rid of all of them because none of them had 15, but you see the point. So that's why I don't do the pre-filtering. You can filter after the fact just as quickly after you eyeball the domains and make sure you don't have them. Or maybe let's say I don't want any .orgs or .gr or whatever. I can apply those filters as well, domains containing and domains not containing, that sort of thing. So then we have the export, which is really great. I have 3 export options. I can export expired domains as a text file, which is just a list of the domains, export it as a text file. That's it. I can export all data as a CSV in tab or comma separated, or I can export the grid. Now when I export the grid, the biggest thing you're going to notice is, let's rerun this here and let those pop back in there. Okay, so the biggest thing you're going to notice is this. It will say, if I had typed in like Wikipedia, for instance, and I had these domains, it'll say linked. So if it has, it'll have a 1 here because it's linked from Wikipedia. If I export the grid, I'll get all of this data here. It'll list these as column headers, and it'll give me all of the data. So it'll tell me how many way back they have and how many Facebook and Alexa, that sort of thing. But under linked, it's just going to say, 1 or whatever number it is. However, if I export all data, this linked column will then be replaced by the actual URL that it's linked from. So let's say it had a link from, Wikipedia site for the population of California. Then it will give me the actual URL of Wikipedia that has the link to that expired domain. So I personally love that because I like to see the pages that link to the expired domains. So that's what the export all data and export grid data, the difference is there. If you didn't catch that or that doesn't make sense the first time you do it, just export all 3 formats and look at them and you'll figure it out. And so that is the expired domain finder functionally, like how it works. So let's say that I wanted to use Wikipedia and we loaded in this page here. If I do the level 1 here, let's load this up and update, and I do crawl depth and I put it at level 1, it is only going to look at this exact page. So it will load this page, pick up all of these links if they're external links, obviously, because it's looking for expired domains, and it will see if any of these are expired and it will stop. Now that's true if you put in the home page or if you put in an actual URL. It doesn't matter. Whatever URL you put in here, if you choose level 1, it's going to just look at those URLs. So let's say that you had a list of 10 URLs you picked up from Google or whatever, and you just want to look at those URLs for expired domains because they're the exact Wikipedia pages that are relevant to exactly what you're working for. But you don't want, so if I wanted to do links and get expired domains that are linked from population cities of California, that might be great. But if I just let this crawl through, I might find pages that have links from Wikipedia on a page about dogs, and maybe that's not relevant to my real estate business in California. So that's why you have the levels that work that way. Whatever level you load in, whatever URL you load in, Scrapebox will start there. Now if I go to level 2, for instance, it will then grab all of the external links on this page, but it will also grab all the internal links on this page, so such as Los Angeles, because these are Wikipedia links, San Diego, Santa Clara, San Francisco, and it will go to each one of those pages, like Los Angeles, and check, because this is level 1, when I go to the Los Angeles page, that's level 2. And now it will grab all of the links on these pages for external and check them for expired domains. If I had put in level 3, it would also extract the internal links from this page, because remember, this is the first one we were at was level 1, now we're at level 2, now this most popular country, if I click that, that would be level 3. So now it's going to check expired domains from here. If I put in level 25, here and just run this thing all the way up, if it's a small site, that's not going to be a big deal. But on Wikipedia, now we're going in 25 levels deep, and Wikipedia links all over the place to itself, so I could get into the millions of URLs. In fact, I've let it run on big sites, and at level 7 and level 8, you're talking checking over 1 million URLs, 1 million internal URLs, checking for external domains. Maybe I said that backwards, but anyways, millions and millions and millions of URLs and domains that wind up having to be checked. So bear in mind, if you just max all these things out, this might take a long time to run. But you can obviously stop it whenever you want. But that's how the level system works. Now let's go back here to our first Wikipedia page or our Google search, and let's talk about the actual theory here. Let's say that you want to work with local. Now, you obviously can work with anything you want, but talk about local for a minute because I think it's low-hanging fruit. I happen to have done some work, not as a client, just people that I know and friends and family and that sort of thing, in the outdoor business in local cities, just because I happen to know an absorbent amount of people that do outdoor services, like we're talking lawn care, tree work, power washing, maybe they do siding or roofing or whatever. So let's say I have a small city, maybe 100,000 people, 150,000 people, that sort of thing. And if it's a suburb of a capital city, for instance, that might not apply. But if it's somewhat physically removed from other cities, then you kind of have a local community. And if you're 100 miles or a couple hundred kilometers or whatever distance from a big city, then and you want a tree cut down, probably you're going to call somebody local, because if you call somebody that's 100 miles away, then they're going to be like, nah, that's too far to travel, it's not worth our time, will be too expensive, so get somebody local. So in local industries and local markets, there's a huge low-hanging fruit, I think, because of that factor. Also, most websites in a local space, especially in the outdoor services, which makes it a great example, and mileage may vary. This depends on, if you're an insurance agent, it's probably not going to be the same. Those tend to be a more aggressive market, but for outdoor services, they don't have a lot of links. Maybe they don't even have a web page. A lot of them don't even have web pages. If they do have a web page, they probably don't have a lot of links. In fact, one that I was looking at in one particular market that I was doing for a family member actually had the person at the top of Google had one link from one local site in that city. And it was just a sponsorship page where they had paid a bunch of money and had been a sponsor of some local event. So they got their business link on a website. But Google knows that that came from another website that's owned by a company that's local because of the addresses on the site and the Google Plus pages and whatever. So Google is going to give a lot of weight to local links. So if I can pull up, let's talk about population cities in California as an example. Now, I was at once upon a day going to move to Lancaster, California, which is, let's see, down here, probably it's around the 100,000 mark, 150,000 if I recall. Probably could just do a search. Okay, here it is. Lancaster and Palmdale. They're right next to each other. 161, 158,000. They're great examples. If we look at a Google Maps for the 8-second overview, so this is the state of California here, San Diego down here, Los Angeles, and then San Francisco up here. Down under Los Angeles, if we zoom in here, these green things are mountain ranges. Out here is just desert. And down here, because of the mountain ranges and the ocean, it's tropical climate, or Mediterranean climate rather, which is really great. If you don't know, you can look up climates on Wikipedia. Anyways, this is your big population area. If you go through the mountains here, you get Lancaster and Palmdale, and they're fairly, you can see, far removed from Los Angeles and these other cities that are out by the ocean, because they're basically close up here by the desert. So it's a great case study example for us here in the next 2 minutes to look at, because they're physically removed, they have the right amount of population. I have no affiliation with them, and they make a great thing. The only thing I don't know is how much outdoor service in the tree market they're going to have, because they're right on the edge of the desert. So let's look at it anyways. I pulled it up here, Tree Service, Lancaster, California. You can see Google's nice little things here. Top one here has 9 reviews. These guys barely have any reviews. If you go down, top one here is Chad's Chippers again, and Hector doesn't even have a website. He's number 2. And then we go into Home Advisor and that sort of thing, and Yellow Pages and whatnot. If we look at Chad's Chippers, just because he's number 1 here, let's look at his website and do a quick analysis on his actual links and that sort of thing. So if I pull it up, this is one way I like to do it in Google. We can see, if I punch in his website, and I'm just going to go all the way down to the domain name because I'm looking for references here. This is one quick way I like to check links, and that Google will actually tell someone's backlinks. If I do this, and then so this is going to give me any reference with this domain name in it, whether it's a link or not. I'm going to do minus site of Chad's Chippers. Otherwise, I'm just going to get a bunch of links from his website. So if I do this, do a Google search, it will take out any links from his actual site, and I've got 38 results. So you can see here, this is 6 stat ratings reviews. Usually these rating review links from these type of sites are pretty well low on the list of value. And we can see Stats Insanity, Yellow Pages, Facebook, Angie's List, that sort of thing. Nothing really here of substance. Here's a WordPress one, that sort of thing. So he doesn't really have a lot of local links. If I want to go and look up, for instance, actually, let's just go back here to Google and let's type in, bear with me here, Lancaster, California. Just type in the city name. The first few links that are going to come up is going to be the city of Lancaster, so that's probably their website. Of course, the Wikipedia page. I have city data, Zillow, Facebook. So I might want to isolate this a little bit. They might have a government website, or at least the California.com government website. Some cities actually have like a Lancaster, city of Lancaster.gov. Some is just an org. So some have like visit, or a welcome center website, that sort of thing. Or they might have prominent places in the area. I like to pick up things like libraries or community type places. So I might type in the Lancaster, California library. Or maybe just do a little research and get some good local businesses that are big, that have been around. But the point is that if I can get if I can get expired domains from like the local library and the local government website of that city, or the visitation center website, that sort of thing, those are obviously very, very local centric, maybe the Chamber of Commerce, that sort of thing. I'm just going to do a Google search and go in Scrapebox, for instance, and just put those in here and pick up like the first 10 results, which is what I saw there, eyeball them and get rid of any things that I don't want. Like probably I don't want Facebook, because if I start crawling through it, it's going to be all over the place on Facebook. But if I have like the Lancaster library or the city of Lancaster.org, I can crawl all over this site and go 25 levels deep if it is that deep without a problem, and it's all going to be related to Lancaster, probably, or really close. So I'm going to pick out some choice domains like that. I'm going to toss them into the expired domain finder, put in my my local URLs, let it crawl through there, and pick up, however many there are. I just did this on a city the other day about this size, and it's not done, but I have over 100 expired domains from very, very targeted local results. And so if I go out there and pick up the 5 best expired domains, and I'm probably just going to toss back the same content from Wayback Machine that used to be on it, and then I'm also going to work in a little bit of content for the site I want to link to. And let's say that I want to work with, over here, let's just go to more places on the tree services, and let's say I want to go down here and get Tree Right up. He's got no reviews, does have a website, good to go, but he's not showing up in Google search. But I'm going to take Tree Right as a friend or a customer. Now I go out there and get 5 expired domains from hyper local websites, community websites, government websites, all that sort of stuff, things that I know that just work. Maybe even other service industry websites. If you have, like, I see pest control here. Let's say you had a pest control website that's linking to other businesses, that sort of thing. And I put links to them all to TreeRight. Google's going to see all these local links from the actual, local websites that link to expired domains that turn around and link to another local website that's there. Then you're going to pass all that local link juice. And that's just one kind of theory example of how you could do it, because local has such low-hanging fruit, because half of them don't even have websites, or if they do have websites, they're not getting a lot of local links. So you could probably really ramp up. Now, they're not going to rank for Tree Service California, but they will rank for Tree Service Lancaster, and it's a local business, so they're not leaving Lancaster except for maybe to go to Palmdale there, which is like 10 minutes away. But the point is that you could probably do a lot of damage really quick with that sort of thing. And I'm not saying go spend a bunch of money and do this, that it's a guaranteed route. It takes a little bit of effort and a little bit of background, but you see the point. There's a lot of value in expired domains. There's a lot of expired domains out there from different places like government websites, educational.edu websites, all kinds of places with authority links that you can get and then pass that link juice and the authority onto your own site. In fact, I've been sending out free lists for a while now on my mailing list when I was doing testing, and I've sent out thousands of expired domains, and people have come back, and said, I got some really great domains, gave me some examples, and I wasn't trying to look for them. I wasn't cherry picking through everything. I didn't even register a single domain out of it, but I gave away thousands, and all kinds of people said they got all kinds of great sites, and it all came from the expired domain finder when I was beta testing. And that was beta testing, just testing, not even like really trying to work through it. So let's go look, now that you have a little bit of theory and you know how the expired domain finder works, let's go look at the Wikipedia page. Remember, we tossed it on this city page and set it on 25 levels deep. So it's been crawling all over Wikipedia looking for domains. And let's go back here. And now we've been on this video maybe 20 minutes. Here we can actually look. It's about 25 minutes in thereabouts, and we have 77 expired domains with links from Wikipedia. And we have, look, here's Domain Authority, Moz Rank, Moz Links, Facebook, that sort of thing, Wayback Machine. We can go through here and see different ones all over the place. I've got stuff from NewYorkTimes.com that I gave away, Wikipedia, hundreds of links from government websites, domains that had links from government websites that were expired, and go down through here and see. Now some of them, I'm going to bet that this CH here is not registrable because it has a domain authority of 82, but you should, you know, if you come across a site like that, you could check it out. I've not done anything with a CH domain. But look, here's some other ones with some Alexa, you know, and this has been running for 25 minutes. And here we are, you know, here's one right here that has a page authority of 43. It has Alexa, it has 14,000 Moz backlinks. You know, it's a Wayback Machine, has a bunch. It has a little bit of Moz rank to it, and that sort of thing. So you can see this has been 25 minutes, and we have, oh, there's 79 domains. So I actually turned on Wikipedia and let it run overnight, 24 hours, and had 2,800 expired domains from Wikipedia in one day. So you can see the power very quickly of how you can use the expired domain finder, and it's dirt cheap for what it is too. So it just makes it, you know, right away. I had somebody that came back and they're like, I can get my money back in like the first day using this without even trying. So that is the expired domain finder. A little bit of theory on how you might use the expired domain finder, and you can see it in action and see what it's doing, and that's the expired domain finder. Thanks for watching this Scrapebox video. For more Scrapebox videos, click the subscribe button on your screen or click the subscribe button down below.